Thank you, Holly. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to visit us on this last day at the last lunch thing. I'd like to think that they saved the best for last. My name is Patricia Blades. I'm a former public service teacher. I left the classroom in June. I had enough of kids. I was using iCEV in my class for the last 4 years and approached Maggie and asked if I could please come to work for their company because I believe in the product. My partner here is Stephen Baring, and before we introduce him, I would like to introduce Maggie McGill, who is is in the room with us. She is our regional sales director. So this is my counterpart from Southern California. This is Steve Baring.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Again, thanks for hanging with us here on a Friday afternoon. Super excited. Just, my background, I've been working with iCEV for about 6 months now. And again, I saw this huge transition towards CTE, and I want to be part of that exciting movement. Before that, I had worked with another education company with partnerships with most of the school districts in Southern California over the last 8 years. And before that, I was a principal for 20 years at elementary, middle, and high school. So I have a lot of experience, and I would just love to chat with you about anything education that you ever want to talk about. My phone number is there. You can call me, text me. I just love talking about anything, and especially iCEV. Patricia?
Thank you. All right, you're going to go to the next one. All right, so we are going to give you, we just have an agenda. We know it's Friday. You've been listening to people talk to you for 4 days. We're going to try to just keep ourselves on track and you as well. So what we're going to give you is just a short history of iCEV. We're going to talk to you about our curriculum and industry certification. My partner Steve is going to give you a live demo on how everything works. We'll talk about how we integrate with with your systems, the different platforms. And then at the end, we'll answer any questions that you might have. So please feel free to drop any questions into the chat. And Miss Holly is helping me keep track as well. So let me tell you a little bit about iCEV. iCEV stands for Career Educational Videos, and we were founded in 1984 by a gentleman named Gordon W. Davis. He was an agricultural teacher. He really believed in bringing expertise into the classroom. And he started with VHS tapes. So believe it or not, we still have people who are using the tapes. And what they did was he was very much into agriculture. And so he decided that there was no really good educational materials out there for agriculture. So he started it, and he felt very passionate about it. And he felt very passionate about making sure that they had experts in the classroom. So then in 2001, they moved to a multimedia textbook. And then in 2007, we went to Pathways Media and became packaged with the video, with CDs and your course in units. And then in 2012, we became an online product. And one of the interesting things that I like about iCEV is that the lessons are updated annually. They never change a lesson during the middle of the school year, so it doesn't throw your teachers off. They do, most of the updates happen during the summer, so your teacher can keep track of where they are. Okay, so this is just a little bit bragging page about us and why that we're the leader in this. We have a solid content. We align with standards. We offer industry certifications. It is all online adaptable. One of the things that I thought it was great as a teacher, it saves teacher time because there's auto grading. And the other thing that's super impressive, and one of the things I like about iCEV, and I liked it as a teacher, is we have wonderful customer support. So in the short time, I only started here in August, and in the short time that I've been here, we have acquired 2 other companies. We're growing constantly. We just recently acquired AES, and they specialize in health services, business education, computer applications, and career readiness. And then the one right before that is we got automotive and cosmetology, which are all really popular in the adult learning. and they're all through today's class. So we're changing all the time. This page is the page that everybody wants to know about. Okay, so how much does all this fabulousness cost? Okay, on the right-hand side, we showed you this is for family and consumer sciences course playlist. Your average teacher license is going to run $750 for a year. That gives, if you look at everything on the other side, on the left-hand side, that is everything that you get underneath that course playlist. All of those things, if you can see where the little things go, the pointers going, you get everything on that list, everything that's included. And I can tell you from a teacher's point of view that you will never be able to teach all this in a year. There is way too much content. There is so many amazing things that you can do that you're going to be able to pick and choose. It's very, very teacher friendly, and you get to run your classroom. So you pick what you want to teach, which I thought was really good. And if you look on the bottom, the student license is $10 per student. What happens with that is that you purchase a student license for a year. It is good. It's good for the entire year. It's not good per student. Those licenses are good regardless whoever is using them for one entire year. So a good thing with for adult education is that I believe that if you're teaching a 16-week course, you can have a student in iCEV, then you can drop that student, get your license back, and the next student comes in and takes that student's place. Okay. And then, so that's really good for adult education since you're going to be changing students all the time. And then next on the bottom is about this certification vouchers. That's a separate thing altogether, and that entitles your students come in and take a test, buys them a seat, kind of like SAT. They're $30 a voucher. So each time you have a student that comes in and takes a test, they're going to use that voucher. Now the vouchers, if you purchased 300 vouchers this school year, but only 250 people came in and took the certification test, those 50 vouchers are good forever. There's not they don't expire in a year like the student license does. So now we're going to have Steve's going to show us how this all works.
Very exciting day. Hey, I just appreciate everybody here, and that was great, Patricia. Before we go on to the live demo site, I did want to draw your attention to our icevonline.com site. There's a lot of great information here, and it's a great way to kind of see the structure of iCEV. If you're wondering, what do we have, how do we teach it, and what are my options here? So I'm here on icevonline.com, and you'll notice here's an alternative ed tab. I can click on that on the workforce adult ed, and this pulls up all the curriculum that we have available for your adult learners. Now, just like Patricia said, what you do is you buy a teacher license to one of these content areas. So let's say you have a teacher and you buy a business marketing content area for them to teach. If I click on here, I can see these are all the courses and lessons that are available now to that teacher to teach. We don't limit you. We give you everything in that one content area. So you have lots of options, including in here, and you will see this in a little bit. We have intro courses and advanced courses. So you could have multiple level courses with your one teacher for a certain curriculum. The other thing that I like under industry certifications here is our higher certified. Let's see, let's get to higher certified. There we go. And we know marketing is important to adult schools, so we have this hashtag higher certified page. On this page, you can click on the for educators learn more, and you'll see that we have all kinds of advertising marketing materials for you to get people to take your classes at adult ed. They're fully customizable flyers. Here's individual flyers explaining each of our certifications and any of our curriculum or courses. As we move across in the last tab, you'll see there's industry certifications. So some people find this very confusing. They say, what's the difference between your industry certification classes and your curriculum classes? And it's important to note that we have full curriculum for CTE adult school that lives on its own. And then we have a whole set of certifications that students can take that also have courses that go with it. When you buy that teacher license, you get access to both. So you don't have to worry, am I going to teach a certification course or a curriculum course? Because you will actually get access to both. And then you can make your decision once you see the what kind of students sign up. We're really proud of our certifications. Right now, there's really a lot of people are looking for certifications and a lot of people are creating certifications, but we're not reacting and creating. We've had them, and we've had successful certifications for a long time. When I talk to people, I always remind them, there's different levels of certifications and some are more valuable than others. Ours are industry-backed certifications. So it's not the Stephen Baring certification or somebody sitting on a board and advising me. When we say we have a certification for animal science, it's actually the Elanco certification for animal science. That's the Eli Lilly. When we talk about these express certifications or Southwest, they're from actual companies that we partnered with. They helped develop the curriculum. They developed the actual certification test, and then we administrate it for them. I'm going to click on the business and marketing certifications because these 4 certifications tend to be the most popular certifications in adult ed, and quite frankly, in a lot of our high school programs too. Going from right to left, you can see here we have the Southwest Professional Communication Certificate. That's our soft skills certificate. Excuse me. What has happened is a lot of employers say, hey, we can teach people what to do once they get here, the hard skills, but we need them to know the soft skills. So iCEV went to Southwest Airlines and talked to them about developing a soft skills course because everybody knows Southwest is really good at customer service and all those things about being a good employee. Our other 2 over here are express certifications. We have a professional career preparedness certification. That is really your resume writing, your interview skills, and all those kind of things. And then the other express certification, or some people call it the BOT, B-O-T, Business Office Technology. That's your entry-level office jobs where you need to know technology around the office to work there. We chose to work with Express because they are a staffing agency that's all across the country. In California alone, they have 72 locations. Chances are there's one close by to you if you look them up. They are great partners. We have some school districts like Corona Norco, who's been with us for multiple years using our certificates. And they have a direct MOU with Express, and they actually do partner on some job fairs and different things that could benefit your adult learners. Again, we partner with industry partners. And then the last certificate on here I want to speak to is the Center for Financial Responsibility. This has become a more popular certificate lately. COVID has really shown people that they need to be good about their budget, and this is about personal financial literacy. This course was developed through Texas Tech University through an endowment from Charles Schwab, who thought that all Americans could benefit from more financial responsibility and learning how to handle their own finances. So while we have all these other certificates too, these are the most popular ones that we offer in the adult ed world. Now let's go to the iCEV platform. Remember, if you have any questions, welcome to put them into the chat. My partner Patricia and other people will notify me if there's something that we need to address right away. Otherwise, we'll talk about it at the end of the presentation. So here we are on the platform. We're going to log in. This is a live demonstration. This is not a recorded one. So you can see actually how everything works and how quick and easy it is. So here's your homepage for your teachers. It says, welcome, Stephen. It would say, welcome your name. Just to show you how quick and easy it is to add a course if you're a teacher or an admin setting up this course, I'm going to show you over here by adding a new course certification. Right there are your 5 steps to adding a course. It's listed right there for you in case you forget. But all you do is you come down here, you pick your content area. Let's do business and marketing. And then again, remember how I talked about how there would be many choices in the business marketing finance area? These are all the courses that you can choose from. I'm going to pause it there for a second so you can see and take in just the amount of courses that you get. Again, noticing that there's an advanced version of classes. I went to the architecture by accident, sorry. There's advanced versions of the classes, and then there is also just basic versions. So these courses are really good for career exploration, and they're also good for continuing into the career world. So you have access to all these courses. So all I would do if I wanted to do business law, I just click on it. I'm going to copy and paste the name because that's easier than making up my own title. And go business law, and I'm just going to be for demo. You can name it anything you want. And then I'm going to add the course, and you can see it appears right up here. If you go across these course playlists, I want you to notice here's course playlist. There's judging. We're going to skip that one because that's more ag. Subject play area. And then we have our certified playlist. And here are all your certification courses that you can choose from. So you could do the same thing again, where you copy and paste the title and put it up here. But I've already done that earlier today. And then you can add the course. So here they are. I'm going to hit finished. And now it's working to add that course to that teacher. And now here you can see I have a lot of courses because I do a lot of demonstrations and work all over Southern California. But if I go to the very bottom, there's that business law for demo. That's how easy it is to add a course as an admin. You could do this easily for your teachers, or your teachers can do this on their own. Patricia, you want to show them a little bit or talk a little bit about the different types of help we provide our teachers?
Yes. So on the left-hand side is the iCEV coach. That is there's actually people that are live there waiting to answer questions. It's not like the Autobot. They're actually really real people there during normal business hours. And on the other side, you can schedule an online training. And if you're really lucky, you'll probably either get me in Northern California, you'll get Steve in Southern California. They're all really helpful tips. You can go in and pick a date and time that works best for you. We like to work around the teacher's schedule. So most of the time our online trainings are either taking place before school starts or after school starts, or whatever works for you. I like the fact that iCEV, once that we sell you the product, we don't leave you. There is always help available. So even if it doesn't happen to be Steve or I, there is always people online that can help you. There's also, if you click on that tutorials button, if you're like me as a teacher, I didn't sleep all night long. I would think of things I wanted to learn about. There's all these tutorials there that you can go on anytime and go poke around and play with them, and they're super helpful. But iCEV doesn't leave you out there by yourself trying to figure it out.
Patricia, it's really amazing working for iCEV, because I know a lot of you have experienced this. A lot of companies charge additional amounts of money for training. I want to make this clear. All of our training is included, live in person and online, as much as you need, as often as you need. And we know in adult ed, you might have a teacher come in and teach a couple courses, and mid-year they're gone and you have a new teacher. And so it's no additional charge to train those teachers. We look forward to doing that for you. All right, so coming back to our course, you can see we're on our home page. Welcome, Stephen. So this is what a teacher would see. And here are my courses. I have Child Development and Training Southwest. It really doesn't matter which course I would pick the demo for you today, because they're all built the same way. That's one of the nice things about what makes it easy for teachers to learn. Because we know you're going to get a lot of teachers who are industry experts, right? They know what they're talking about, but maybe they've just never taught before. So one of the nice things about iCEV is we provide that structure for them so they can focus on being an expert and learn to become a teacher along the way. And then more advanced teachers like us, because we provide so much curriculum, that they can also, again, focus on really developing it and into more complex lessons. So let's look at the child development course. Let's just go right in there. One of the things you'll notice, it says new item, new item, new item. That just refers to the fact that this was updated from last year. So teachers don't get surprised when they go in there and see some new content. Some people ask me what the CC stands for. That's Common Core. So just know that. First thing I want to point out is, so here we are at the course level. Here are all the lessons that are in the course. Our courses are built around 150 hours. That can be asynchronous or in class or out of class. It can be blended. We have a lot of people do the courses with less hours of work, but that's about what we give you to work with, so that you have enough material for the whole time. On the right-hand side here, we have our standards alignment. That's really just the pacing guide. So if you look on this one and you click here, again, we provide everything for the teacher. We say, here's the lesson, here are the objectives, and how many days of teaching we believe that will take. Again, these are all just recommendations. It'll be up to the teacher and your class to decide how to use this. Before we dive into a lesson, I know a lot of you would really like to see how a student gets registered in a class. This is an important step in adult ed. It's not always the easiest step, and it's difficult with some programs. Well, ours is very easy. All the teacher does is they log into their class, child development. They come over here on the right-hand side. They click invite a student. And here are the instructions to invite a student, a 3-step process. Now, a lot of teachers on the first day of class, if they do in-person classes, will just project this on onto the overhead. The overhead. No more overheads nowadays, right? Project it onto the big screen. And then students will just click on here, iCEV Online, and go ahead and register with their unique code, which is right here. I'm going to copy and paste this and then hit submit. So you can actually download these instructions and send them by email. You can print them, you can project them, and you see have many different ways. Let's just click on here so I can actually show you how easy it is. So this is a student now registering. All you do is put in the unique code that I just copy and paste from the other side. First name, last name, email isn't even required. You see there's no star. You do need an email if you're going to use Google Classroom. You pick a username, a password, confirm password, read it, and then just hit submit, and you've registered for the class. That's how easy it is. Once students have registered for the class, a teacher can see right here on Manage Roster, and it would list all the students' names here. If a student needs to reset their password, all you do is there will be a reset password button right here. It's all simple, it's all in one place, it's easy to use. Now let's dive into an actual lesson and see the curriculum, which makes our program stand out from other people's programs. We're in the child development, and there's all kinds of things about pregnancy, babies. Let's go with developing positive sibling relationships. I think a lot of us can relate to that, and we could probably all learn a little something here today, as many of us may have siblings. So now we're at the actual lesson level. And what we like to tell people is our videos, our PowerPoints, that's the book. We don't have a print book anymore. All of our instruction is delivered through PowerPoint and through videos. This particular lesson has a video. When you notice when we deliver through video, we're not saying, here's an hour-long video, watch it. You see on the right-hand side, we divided it up into segments, and there's activities that go along with each of those segments. One thing I like to point out on the playlist up here, if you click on it, we also provide you with career interviews. So we have interviewed people across the country in these different types of jobs, and that's an additional resource you can use so you don't have to invite guests into your classroom and take up their time. It's really hard to find people to come in, I know especially at night, to do career interviews. All of our videos, of course, come with closed captioning. They can be sped up and slowed down and all those wonderful things. So this is the main curriculum, is the video or the PowerPoint. And then down here below, we have our support materials. As a teacher, what I would do, I'm coming in here, I would look at the lesson plan. Let's look at this lesson plan. As a veteran teacher, I might not need it as much. As an industry expert, but new teacher, this could be very useful and helpful. It tells me the video, what we're doing, how long it is. It gives me a bell ringer, all the activities it recommends, and the exit tickets and for each class. This can, of course, be modified in any way you need, but it's nice to know that that exists. It's nice to know if you have a substitute, you could just print that out and give it to the substitute. So now you have your curriculum, you have your lesson plan. Where are my support materials? Right below here, in a very easy to use place. The thing to remember is that we have instructional materials and we have interactive assignments. Think of the instruction materials as your print materials or your PDFs, your stagnant ones. Think of your interactive assignments as the auto grading, the testing, all those kind of things. Pretty much everything that's in instruction materials is mirrored in interactive assignments whenever possible. Some teachers choose to never turn on the instructional materials because they don't want to do any print. They want to do all the online stuff. And there's an option to do that, and it's very simple, and I can show that to you later. But let's look at the instructional materials real quickly. So here we go. So we have our resources. And the reason I'm going to come in and show you the instructional materials, because even though some people choose to turn them off, we highly recommend that you still use some of these materials with your classes in the interactive. We have different things, like we have the video transcript. So this is a word for what appears in the video. This can be very beneficial for students who have a hard time with concentration or focusing on the videos. Language barriers, this could be dropped into Google Translate. You can get a translation they can follow along. And the thing I want to point out to you right now is all of our materials are written at about an 8th grade reading level. So they're accessible to all of our students.
Steven.
Again, this video transcript is very helpful. Were you going to say something, Patricia?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that in my class, especially because they were high school students, I knew that they were not really watching the videos. So that would be one of the times that I would use the printed material, and I would print out that transcript and they had to read it. And I taught them how to annotate text. That's something that they can use when they go to college. It just made sure that they were watching it, not just skipping through the whole thing. So when I was using it as a teacher, I would actually use both. I would use some of the print stuff, and I would use some of the interactive stuff. That's what I want.
That's a really good point. And we also have some other type of activities here. So remember when I talked about those interview videos, we have these activity career connections. Let me click on that and show it to you. So here is a handout you could print out that goes along with those interviews, that asks questions and makes it a more interactive assignment. If I go back to the top here, though, I do want to point out one last thing in the instructional materials, and that's our action plan. So the action plans came about because of COVID and because we wanted our program to be able to be done at home, in the classroom, or a blended approach of both. And an action plan is really just a student-facing lesson plan. So it's step-by-step telling students what to do, how to work their way through the different lessons. So a teacher would just have to make sure those lessons are turned on, and then a student could work through that on their own. This is especially great in adult school or other classes because you can't do everything in the class. You have to do something outside the class to make sure that you have enough curriculum there. So the action plans are a real positive way of doing that. So you can see all these print materials. Let me close up the print materials. Let's go to the interactive materials, the interactive assignments. So here you can see you have a lot more choices. An example of an interactive assignment might be like the vocabulary activity. Let me show this to you. So here we go. We've got your classic drag and drop, right? Where you're dragging and dropping names into different things, seeing if they match up. Now, I do want to point out that I'm having to scroll up and down because I've blown my screen up so much so that we can see this during the presentation. If a student was on this page, all this would appear on one page and they wouldn't have to scroll up and down like this. So here I am. I've done my best. I hit finish. It says, are you sure you want to be finished? I say yes. Now I guessed on almost all these, so I'm not going to do so well. I'm not great at vocabulary for developing positive sibling relationships. So here we go. I got 2 out of 8, 25%. It tells me which ones I got right, which ones I got wrong, what the right answer is. These are all options that you can turn on or off. So if I go back here, let me go back to the interactive assignments. Let me go back to the vocabulary one. Oops, one too far. Here we go. We can see it right here. And you can see that we have all these options, which is, do we want students to see it or not? Yes, no. So we don't even want them to see it. We want them to see the answers, yes. We want to see them feedback, yes. We want them to see it now, but we want them to be turned off at a certain date so they can't work after 2 days from now. These are all things that can be determined. You can even decide if you want to include it on your grade report or not. Finally, what I want to point out on this line is you do also have a threshold attempt. So you can decide, I want to give them 4 attempts, 3 attempts, 2 attempts. That's totally up to you how many attempts you want to give them. Again, if you give them multiple attempts, what I would do as a teacher, I would turn off show correct answers. That way they're not just clicking through it. Finally, under interactive assignments at the very bottom, you can see we have these green star assessments. Now remember, this is a regular curriculum course. This is not a certification course. But in our certification courses, the green stars take on special meaning. In these courses, they have a meaning too. This is our exit ticket or our exam to make sure they know the information. This is the one you want to assign them. These are multiple choice, drag and drop, all those kind of wonderful things, and they are auto-graded. That in a nutshell is our curriculum for a lesson, for a course. Now what I want to do, I want to go back out to my courses. And remember, we talked about how we have curriculum courses and we have certification courses. The way you can tell it's a certification course is this is our training for Southwest. It has the little blue ribbon behind it, which means kids can earn a certification in that course. Let me open up this one real quickly to show you a difference. One of the differences is our training, so our regular curriculum courses, I didn't point it out, but there's a modification button right here. We allow you to modify the course, rearrange it, do whatever you want to make it fit for you. And again, we have all the PD you want, so we can sit down with the teacher and work them through it with their course. With the certification courses, Southwest has recommended that we teach these particular lessons in this order and that they are all required for certification. So there's not a lot of changing this around. Now, you could change it out of order like the way you teach it, but the program won't let you do that. The other option you have is, let's say you have a really good lesson on communication styles. You can see here, this has been unclicked. So now it's not required for the certification. I do want to point out that those questions will still be on the test. It's just a matter of the students will now not be required to take that certification. Take that, that exam. At the end of each one of these, again, let me click into any one in particular. I'm going to pick this one. We're going to go down. We're going to go to the interactive assignments. We're going to scroll to the bottom. We're going to look at assessments. There's that green star assessment. So the difference between a certified course and a curriculum course is that while we want all students to pass all the green star assessments, in a certified course, they must pass all the green star assessments unless you personally override it. Once they pass all the green star assessments at the end of each lesson, that will unlock the test for the certification. Just for a second now, I'm going to go over, I'm going to drag over another window that I've opened, an incognito window. I've actually logged in as a student, so you can see the student view. You'll notice it's almost exactly the same. I only have 2 courses here as a student, but here, I'm Jennifer, and I'm in this Training Southwest certification course. You notice theirs is not dark blue yet because they have not passed the exam. And so I go in here and look. Oops, I've been out of here too long. I got to log back in. There we go. So here we are on the Training Southwest course. You can see here where it says required for certification has now been replaced with scores. And you can see the English application, Jennifer got a 50%. And again, because our program's so easy point of view, it tells you right here, you need a 70 or better. So you go down this list here, Introduction to Special Communications, she's passed that at 70%. Notice this one says not required, that means I uncheck the blue box. Once all these are green checkoffs all the way down, then you can see right here's the final assessment, and that will change into you are now ready to take the final assessment. Your teacher has been emailed. Please work with your teacher on that. We recommend to all teachers that you focus on teaching the course when you start, and then as you get close to certification, you contact us and let's do some training with you. A certification test is 1 hour long, and you'll be administering that in the class. Actually, I'm sorry, it's about an hour long. It's an untimed test, and students can have as long as they want, but it takes usually about an hour. There's 100 questions on there. It is very rigorous. It's not easy, but if students take it serious, get these green check marks on all their lessons, there's a very, very high probability that they will pass that final assessment. And that's why we want them to take all those green star assessments and pass them. As Patricia had mentioned, the certifications are a separate cost. So once a student gets there, that's that $30 that we're talking about to take the certification. Now, most school districts just incorporate that into their original price when they charge the students at the beginning. Some school districts, though, want to keep that separate, and we do have an option that you can pay with the students can pay with a credit card for that at the end if they want to take the certification. And those are our certification courses. I'm going to go back for Jennifer. I'm going to take her back to our courses. And I'm just showing you here. Here's that training ag. Again, I'm just going to click on it so you can see it. It looks similar. It mimics the teacher view. Here's all the lessons. They can go into a lesson, all that kind of stuff. We have a built-in grade book. It's all there. All right, I'm going to drag Jennifer out. She's going back out to getting ready for the weekend. It's Friday night. There's a football game. Jennifer is actually my daughter, so I know that's where she would be headed. So now here I'm back on my home screen for my teachers. That in a nutshell is our curriculum and our certifications. I'm going to take us back into the PowerPoint. We have one slide, and then we will go ahead and see if there are any questions. But as you can see, our program is just so user-friendly, and that's why so many districts end up working with us and partnering with us. And I would be very excited to be partnering with you. Patricia, you want to talk about our technology stuff?
Well, yeah, we had somebody that asked in the chat, like, what are the different LMSs that you can use? So I'm not going to read them to you, but those are all of the things that you can use with iCEV. I think that another thing that I want to leave with you is that this is very user-friendly for the teacher. So you can interact as much with your students as you want to. And if you're teaching something that is mostly online, you can have students go off and do all their own thing. I just really liked it because if I had kids that were interested that day, then I would love to get up and talk with them. But I also taught 2 periods of 10th graders who were really 8th graders last year. And I would be like, nope, you guys go read it. So it's really nice. The other thing is that I found is that sometimes you would think that you would have an amazing lesson and you think, oh, okay, this is going to last the entire period, and then it doesn't. But you have access to all of the stuff that's in that curriculum. So you can go in and really fast pick an activity that now your class can do together. There's speeches in there. If somebody had given it to me 15 years ago when I first started, when I first started teaching, I would have been so grateful because I was inventing the wheel every single weekend. Public services for sure was really hard to find any curriculum in. And when I did find something, it was college-based, and my kids were not ready for that. And it was just too hard. So long story short, these are all the ways that you can integrate iCEV on whatever platform, whatever LMS you happen to be using. Yeah.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. This is Maggie. Couple things I just want to clarify. At the beginning, Stephen was talking about hours of courses and such, and he mentioned the number 150. All of the industry certification prep courses are 150 hours worth of materials. And as Stephen said, in reality, you guys don't have that amount of time. So we have plenty of adult schools that are doing certifications with their in their adult sessions and not hitting that 150 mark. On the curriculum side of the house, not all those courses will be 150 hours. And as Stephen said, there is a customization button, so you can easily organize your lessons according to your schedule and what's available. As far as Canvas, we did get a question about shell courses within Canvas. The process for iCEV is basically you set your courses up like Stephen explained in the demo, and you export that common cartridge over to Canvas. In that case, you totally bypass that invite students part. It's all done on the back end. We call it on-time rostering, so you don't have to worry about rostering students. One clarification though, and this is important, if you want to use Canvas, it's a wonderful integration, very easy to use. But if you are going to do industry certifications, your students will have to come back the night of the exam and take it through the iCEV platform. And that's really all around the validity and the integrity of that certification exam. It just can't be put into Canvas. So just wanted to clarify a couple of those things. You guys did a great job. And then let's see if we have more questions here.
Thank you, Maggie. And as we're waiting for questions, you brought up something to me too. I just remembered is that, we make it easy on the teacher and the administrator. And so when they pass those certifications, we actually print those certifications. We mail them to you with industry back letters explaining what's going, the value of them. And then if you have many students passing certification, then we actually also print a really wonderful wall mount for you to put up with their names at your school site, which is great advertising too.
That's wonderful. One other thing, Stephen did talk about the 2 certifications through Express Employment Professionals. They are a really great partner for you all. One example we always give is Corona Norco Adult School. They have an Express office. I think it's less than a mile from their school site. They will come, they will do career fairs. They do guest speaking, and Corona actually has an MOU with them that's like, hey, we're going to send our students down there for you to find a job, which is free for job seekers. We hope that you'll find a place of employment with them. So there are, 72, 74 offices across California. They are a really great partner. They're tap into that local labor market. And they wrote those 2 certification exams, so they know what businesses are looking for as far as industry standards.
Perfect. Well, do we have any other questions at all? And if you're not putting them in the chat, you are welcome at this point to come off mute and ask us, since I think we have a smaller crowd at this point.
Nobody.
I do think Maggie was very busy during the presentation and she was answering all the questions as they came into the chat. So I don't see any outstanding questions. Would anyone like to come off and speak? Have any other questions or?
Can this be all through Google Classroom, self-paced, or does there has to be a teacher on there every single week?
I'll answer that. So we do require a teacher on record. It could be done independently. Now, there are different types of activities and projects where we encourage group work. That could be something that you could eliminate from that lesson. You'd really have to just look at the course you're thinking about rolling out in kind of more of an independent area and see if it's appropriate for that. I mean, it certainly could. The Google integration is another really great integration. It's very easy for teachers and students to use, but I'd just say it depends on what you're trying to, what the course is as far as independent learning.
When I used it during COVID, I had just started using it and it was perfect timing on my part. So I had everything in Canvas. And so because kids were very reluctant to turn their screens on and stuff, I finally was like, you have such and such a time to go take care of this. You have to do this and this and this, because you could program it into Clever. I would just have to do it like once a week and maybe go in and check and see it. It's really nice because it takes care of a lot of the, I don't know how to, routine, mundane kind of teacher work that you have to do, correct all your tests and your quizzes. The only time that you have to do something is if you ask your students a question that maybe is an opinion question and they have to write it out and they have to attach it by it like a Google Doc, or there's activities or projects, those you have to grade yourself. But otherwise, it is really truly however you as the teacher want to use it. You can send them out on their own. Some days come back with it. It's however you as the teacher want to use it.
I use it where they do the online stuff in class. I mean, no, backwards, online on their own, and then the projects and stuff are worked in class. Use a reverse model.
Anne had a really good idea, and I thought this because we spoke with her earlier this week, is that so she's doing automotive stuff. So if they have their professional that comes in and spends their time in the classroom isn't coming in to teach them the vocab words and that kind of stuff, they're coming in and spending their time doing the hands-on project, and then the students go off and do the rest of it on their own. I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ideas out there. And
Right?
I think people saw that too when I was going through the demonstration. There is a Google Classroom share button on all the assignments. So it's already integrated into the platform. So it's super easy to do Google Classroom. So we have another open hours later today, a booth. I know Patricia and I talked about this, that after we're done here, we're just going to go ahead and jump into that booth and just be there from now until the end of the day. And so if you think of some questions or you want to be set up with the demo account, we're more than willing to do that for you and get you set up on a demo account and then support you with that. So we're there to the end of the day, and you have our information. You can reach out to us anytime you want. We'd love to partner with you. Like I said, this is the time for CTE in California, and iCEV is definitely the leader in CTE. And so by partnering with us, you're going to assure that when you're hiring teachers, you're supporting them. When you're getting students, you're giving them the best curriculum you can. And this is going to allow you to hire some of those industry expert teachers that need a little support in being a teacher, and is allowing you to hire really good teachers who need a little bit of support in being an industry expert. So it really works both ways. Patricia, you want to add anything, or Maggie?
No, thank you so much for your time. I know that everybody's getting tired. It's Friday afternoon. Thank you so much for coming. Come over and see us in our virtual booth. And can we have an answer to your question if you want to come see it?
Yep. Thanks everybody for participating. We're happy to share some of our adult school successes with you, and even things that didn't work. We're really there to help support you. If you're thinking about rolling out a new CTE pathway, we're most likely have the content that you need to get that going. And again, around that marketing and advertising, I know that's a very, very big part of adult ed, letting your community know what you're doing. That higher certified page is great. Beyond marketing, there's tips on how do I put a certification on my resume? How do I put a certification on LinkedIn? We have customizable letters that you can give to your communications department at your district, so you can put out letters to your community, letting them know who's getting certified and what. So really try to give you all that wraparound services. Some of you might be thinking about digital badging. We are on it. I probably said that last year at this time. We're still working, but that is coming as well. And then as Stephen said about automotive and cosmetology, we have all the content for that. It's in a platform called Today's Class. It's currently being transferred over into iCEV. So we can talk to you more about that if that's something you're interested in looking at. So it's really exciting to be able to offer new curriculum. I don't know if anybody's dipping into the drone world, but that is also new for us too. So lots of great things happening on our side, and we really do appreciate you taking the time to check us out. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to do it really quick. I want to show them how to find your virtual booth. Most exhibitors this year do not have that. They just, talk through the chat. So I'm going to stop your screen sharing. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to show everyone how to do this. So does everyone see my screen?
It says Holly Clark has started screen sharing, but it's all black.
Okay, my computer is so slow. Let's try this again. Zoom is just being problematic. What I can tell you guys is go to the
Oh,
main.
there it is.
There it is.
Oh, you see it. Do you see my mouse moving?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
so you go to the main conference page, you click on exhibitors. And then I'm assuming I can't see what I'm sharing. So I'm assuming you guys are seeing the logos.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, click on iCEV.
but we're not there yet.
Okay,
We're not
There it
over
is.
there yet.
there it
It's
is.
there.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you-
No, you're there. You're good. Your
you're
screen is
right.
right.
It's perfect.
Okay, perfect. Click on this join iCEV on Zoom and you will go into a virtual room with them and you can go over all their there's also handouts here that you can also click on, as well as their website and their email and contact. But if you join the iCEV on Zoom, you will go into a room with them and be able to communicate about the products and get help setting up accounts and anything else. So, Kim said she's eager to explore it next week for Southwest Airlines and BET. That's great. I think that all the questions have been answered. I would like to, oh,
Yeah,
yes, we did.
it
And,
is.
yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's the email that was submitted in our gathering of data, but I think Patricia will be able to share that. If you
I
guys
did.
chat with him and yeah. So we, like I said, they did donate a great prize. And just for going over and chatting with them and having that meaningful communication, they tell us who participated in that and we assign you an additional 750 points. Today's the final day to get your points on. So let's do that. They have great prizes. Patricia, Stephen, Maggie, thank you so much for joining us this year. And
Thank you.
we've been lucky to have you guys the last couple of years. Very grateful, excited next year in person. Southern California location to be determined.
Yay.
Yes.
That'll be awesome.
Yes, so hopefully you will join us there. Everyone, thank you for spending your lunch with us. I'm going to go ahead and cut you loose. You have 6 minutes to eat something as fast as you can.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Holly.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right.
Holly.
Everyone.
Everyone have a
Bye.
great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.